Hi there, I've fired up the trusty BBC Micro for my next review and I'm going to look at a game that was an exclusive for that system. As always, my games on the BBC Micro are on an SD card, so there's no packaging, no cartridge or disc or tape or whatever to look at. We'll just go straight to playing the game, and the game is Tetrapod. So let's take a look at the fact file for the game. Tetrapod was released in 1984 in PAL territories, published by Acorn Soft, and the developer was Nick Reeves. Price paid is not applicable due to it being on the SD card, and the going rate on eBay I've got no idea because there isn't a single copy of it on there at the moment. I would imagine if one does come up you're only going to have to pay a few quid for it. So let's take a look at it. So let's load the game up from the SD card, and it's an Acorn Soft game as mentioned. Here's the controls, no background for the game or anything like that, no explanation of what you're going to do. You've just got the controls, which as you can see, Z and X move you left and right, shift is thrust and return is fire, and that's pretty much it for title screens and so on. So let's get on with the game. So you start, it's an arena style shooter, and the controls are sort of like Asteroids I suppose, in that you rotate left and right with Z and X. Shift thrust you moves you along. You don't thrust indefinitely, you just kind of stop as soon as you stop thrusting. So it's more kind of move around the arena. And fire obviously shoot. Oh, I got shot while I was trying to explain that. And return shoot. So obviously the aim of each level, like any arena shooter, is to clear the level of enemies, and you do that by shooting them. Or you can also shoot these balls, and if you shoot these balls, what emerges from them is a tetrapod, which chases the nearest thing it sees. Something else worth noting is that the player's bullets rebound indefinitely off the wall, so you can end up shooting yourself or getting yourself like that. And if you lose a life, it resets the level, so you have to eliminate the enemies all over again. Oh, rubbish. Basically, if you shoot it, that was a terrible demonstration of how to play it, but if you shoot the tetrapod when it's emerged, it turns back into a pod or an egg or whatever. Let's give it another go. Try and focus a little bit more on the game this time rather than how to play it. So you've got to avoid enemy bullets, you've got to avoid your own bullets. Enemy bullets can also shoot themselves, just like your bullets can shoot yourself. So they rebound off the walls like a game of Pong, just to add another influence. And I think the game it actually most resembles, and it gets more chaotic as time progresses, is Robotron. It's got the same sort of colourful graphical style. It's got the walls which you can bounce off, but you can't move from off one side and onto the other side of the screen like you can on Asteroids. So it's kind of a cross between Robotron with Asteroids' control. And so far I'm doing utterly awful at it. What you can do is just blast a load of bullets and keep dodging stuff and hope for the best. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. The main thing you've got to try not to do is unleash a tetrapod on your side of the screen so that it homes in on you. Just try and get this guy. That should get him. So it's actually easier to use the tetrapods against the enemies rather than try and shoot them. You might have noticed a different style enemy appeared there. Those guys, when you shoot them, your bullet rebounds off them, so you've got to use a tetrapod to get rid of them, or I think an enemy bullet will get rid of them as well. And when the balls start bouncing around all over the place, it does get a bit chaotic. Oh, it's so annoying when they're chasing after you, you don't quite have time to turn around. You saw there the red one on the left there, my bullet bounces off that and sends it off in another direction. It did actually kill an enemy in the end as well, which is useful. So the best strategy I found is to actually keep away from the enemies and let the tetrapods do the work for you. If you stay far enough away and avoid any bullets, then it does get fairly easy to get rid of them. Easy being a bit of a relative term. So graphics are obviously fairly simple. They're 8-bit arcade game style graphics, and sound is limited to some throbbing noise in the background just to increase the tension a little bit, and also obviously the shot of the sound of the shots and the sounds of explosions. And there's not much else to it really. It's a very simplistic game. It's quite frustrating at times, especially when these things keep weaving their way towards you and you can't quite shoot them. It is an interesting game though. It's a sort of great marriage of two different styles of arcade game, and it would have made a good arcade game itself, but a nice original game for the BBC Micro, proving that it wasn't just a computer made for using at school, I like to think. So I'll carry on playing and hopefully get a bit further. I've got 1,000 points now, which will get me on the high score table. The more bullets you fire that don't run into something, the more chaotic it gets. So you sometimes have to be a bit wary. Here we see another enemy materialise now. It's a kind of cross between a UFO and a Christmas bauble, I would say. And again, you can only get rid of this. Oh, shot me! You can only get rid of this by a tetrapod hitting it. So this is where it does start to get a little bit crazy. Just got that thing to get rid of now. No, that wasn't going to work. And again, it resets the entire level. Oh, something shot me. The best part about the game is the enemies can't shoot the pods to make tetrapods come out of them, so that is an advantage that only you have got. If they did that as well, it'd be absolutely insane, I think. They'd be all over the place. Get away from me. He's definitely homing in on me. I'm in trouble here. I've got no chance now. Unless he gets him. Oh, look at that. That's perfect. So now this guy's going to get me. Ah! Annoyance. It's a very frustrating game. There's no doubt about that. Oh, I'm dead there straight away. I think that's it. That's game over. So that's it really. There's not much more to show about the game. I can get a bit further than that. I've got over 3,000 points. It's rock hard, but it is a classic arcade style game and definitely an interesting one to try. If you've got nerves of steel and a lot of perseverance, you could get some interesting scores on that game. Nice short review, not much more to say about it other than, you know, give it a try. It's a BBC Micro game that wasn't released on any other machine as far as I'm aware, so worth checking out for that alone.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
2, 1, 0.